staring at the ceiling. Boy, I just laughed like a mad woman, didn't I?
Welcome to Warped Lore. I'm Dee.
I'm Jen. Today we are talking witch lore. Specifically, this is local to us. Well, it's not that local, but it's in our state, Maryland. It's Maryland witch lore. We're going to talk about... There's a spot on my screen and it looked like Moll Dyer. We're going to talk about Moll Dyer. You've heard of Moll Dyer, yes?
I've heard of Moll Dyer. Didn't she, like... Well, that's jumping way ahead, but she froze to a rock or something?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about her before.
We're going to get into details. Alright, Moll Dyer was a 17th century woman who lived in Leonardtown, Maryland in the late 1600s. So Leonardtown is, well, that's up and over from us, right? So Maryland is like a panhandle state, but the bottom of our pan is split in half. So we have the eastern shore, which is where we are, and the western shore, which I believe Leonardtown is up the northern part of the western shore.
I'm trying to think, is this a Talbot County one?
No, I think it's further north even than Talbot County. I might be wrong. Let's see.
Is it St. Mary's?
That it might be.
I thought St. Mary's was Talbot County. I could be wrong.
We don't know our state geography. St. Mary's County.
St. Mary's County.
Yep. Okay.
And is it Talbot?
St. Mary's County? Is St. Mary's County.
Oh, it's not Talbot County.
No,
Okay.
it's
I was thinking St. But they're like real near each other, aren't they?
Are you thinking about St. Michael's?
I might be. See, my geography's all messed up. I might be, yeah.
Yeah, I have no... that's what I go to school for.
No.
I've pretty much done all of that part of my education. I have math left. And that's why I haven't finished. Alright, immigration records from the time show a Marge Dyer, like it was M-A-R-G dot is how the records showed it, a Mary Dyer, a Malago Dyer, all of these arriving in Maryland in October of 1677 via a ship commanded by Captain Thomas Taylor. Dun dun dun.
My husband is Thomas Taylor.
But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. Moll seems to have been a nickname for many names beginning with M, but particularly for Mary. We don't know for certain that any of those people I was just talking about were the Moll Dyer we're talking about now. According to the St. Mary's County Historical Society, Jesus Christ, if I'd just read a few paragraphs down, we would have known which county. Right there.
Oh, shit.
I didn't even see it.
But at least she makes good notes. She makes good notes.
Sometimes. According to St. Mary's County Historical Society, Moll Dyer was certainly a real person named Mary. She was born in 1634. She and two of her brothers crossed the pond from Devon, England, first to the West Indies, when she was about 35 years old. She was in St. Kitts as an indentured servant for about 8 years, and then she moved on to Maryland in 1667. So apparently the winter of 1667-1698 was a rough winter. Archives say that there was a great epidemic that year in southern Maryland. That epidemic may have been influenza. Additionally, crops failed, and cattle and sheep had died. It was just cold, and nothing was going well for pretty much anybody.
A very rough, barren winter.
Yeah, exactly. So Moll seems to have lived kind of off to herself a bit in the woods near a stream. Rumors flew about her since not everyone in town knew her actual business. They made some up. She was rumored to have been well off before she came to Maryland, supposedly after some tragedy where she lost everything. That's why she came. It's not, but that's what the rumor was. Either way, she was essentially destitute and was said to gather whatever food she could from the woods around her home and perhaps even beg a bit from her neighbors. The townspeople were kind of put out by her begging, foraging, and solitary existence.
You must conform, bitch.
That's right, get in line.
You must get in line, stay in your own lane.
Together, all that, yeah.
Get it? Yep.
So on top of that, things weren't going well between the winter, the epidemic, the failed crops, the dead sheep and cattle. The townspeople wanted or needed someone to blame, something, someone. Somehow they all got together and decided they were going to blame Moll, and they said that they suspected her of witchcraft. So, in the dark night of winter, the townspeople formed a group of men who carried torches and went into the woods to Moll's home. They set her home on fire, and Moll disappeared into the woods. The townspeople, feeling confident that they had rid themselves of all of their problems by burning this woman out of her home, they just went home themselves. You know, to their nice, warm, not on fire homes.
This is just like you see in the movies. Grab your pitchfork and torch.
Right.
Mobs and
Exactly.
crazy just because somebody's different than you.
Yep. They were tired of her being an expense, basically. Shouldn't you be able to rely on the charity of your neighbors?
You should. Oh, look, I don't have it.
Ting, ting, ting.
See if I can put it over my big head. Here we go.
Do it. So sometime later, cattle had been lost. This time they just wandered off. I guess they didn't die. Or maybe they did, I don't know. I didn't follow that far to the story. But anyway, the cattle had been lost out in the snow, and a boy from the town went off searching for these cattle. He came upon the semi-frozen body of Moll Dyer, kneeling upon a large rock at the edge of a ravine, with one arm stretched up to the sky. And that was the end of probably a very sad and lonely woman.
Indeed, like, damn, what was it? How cold would it have to be to freeze you in a position like that?
You know, that's the same thing I was thinking as I was reading it.
And, like, what was she doing?
I don't know, maybe winters were a lot different then. They must have been, right? Because we have, compared to most of the country, I think, where you have a true winter, we have pretty mild winters around here.
Mm-hmm. Especially the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we get snow and stuff, but we have had feet of snow before, but it's not a common occurrence, I guess.
No, it's like every 10 years or something.
Yeah, exactly. It did say in here that this was a particularly cold and hard winter, but still, like, to freeze a human body with an arm up?
It's crazy, right?
It is. It is. If you don't know what we're talking about with the arm up and all that stuff, even though I just mentioned it, we're going to get into some more of that. So in the area, there is a road named after her. It's simply called Moll Dyer Road. And the stream near her home is now called Moll Dyer's Run. So they really embrace this. The land where her home was said to be is cursed, never again growing good crops, and lightning supposedly strikes there often.
That still wouldn't explain how she'd freeze so quickly like that. I was thinking about snow thunder. Do you remember, was it last year or the year before? I saw it for the first time. I think I was with you. It was snowing, and then there was thunder, and it was lightning.
Yes.
And I had never seen it before, although I had heard about it and seen, well, I've seen videos.
Right.
But I had never seen it in person. It was either last year or the year before.
Not a common thing.
But we were watching it out in your backyard, and we were like, man, this is trippy. This is cool as shit. Maybe something like that happened. She got struck by lightning, and she was doing one of these numbers and froze like that. But then she'd be pretty hot from the lightning. I don't think she'd freeze. Oh, shit.
She'd defrost. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Moll Dyer. Don't come haunt me.
Okay. A white dog is said to be the cause of some accidents on Moll Dyer Road, and people have reported a dense fog along the run with light emanating from the top of it.
I'm having a hard time recovering here.
Oh my god. Hold on, we'll try that sentence again.
Sorry, guys. You ever get fits of the giggles? Like, that probably wasn't even that funny to most of you, but I found it hilarious, as warped as it was.
So wrong, so wrong. It is warped lore. Okay. A white dog is said to be the cause of some accidents on Moll Dyer Road, and people have reported a dense fog along the run with light emanating from the top of it. So
what's the dog represent?
I have no idea. No idea.
We'll have to look up for that and let you know, like, if there's any kind of
Well, you know, like the black dog
spiritual or
is the Grim
mystical.
or Black Chuck or Shuck, whatever it's called. I don't know.
They show, sorry, I forgot to silence my phone. What movie is it? Is it The Omen? I think we talked about this in another episode. They showed a dog like that.
Mm-hmm.
Started out Rottweilers, and then you'd see, like, you'd be looking at the Rottweiler, and then it would show you, like, this black demon dog.
Also, Ghostbusters. I'm pretty sure that the creatures on that, the one where it was Zul or whatever.
Zool.
I think they were Rottweilers on crack.
Mm.
Maybe I just haven't seen it in a while. I'm sure it'll be on TV soon.
I have all of them. I have both. Well,
Next time you watch it, let me know if they look like Rottweilers on crack to you.
okay. I think she just doesn't remember.
I don't.
To me, they look like demon buffalo or some shit, or demon bisons, or
Are they that big?
they've got these horns, and their bodies are almost cat-like. It's with the muscles, but it's like a demon cat body.
So, a Rottweiler.
No.
I'll
No.
Google it when we get done here so I can visualize.
She's upsetting me. I love those creatures. I love when he pulls her through the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And she's screaming in the chair and she can't stop the chair. Why didn't bitch hop out that chair?
Right? I'd have rolled out, flew out. Somehow I'd have got out. Come on, man.
I'd have done a somersault backwards.
Right? Whatever you gotta do. Shoot. You're just gonna go ahead and go with it.
Mm.
Okay, so the rock we talked about earlier, where the boy found her semi-frozen, the rock. The rock is famous. In the 1970s, a fellow named Philip Love went and tracked down that rock and had it moved from the ravine to the lawn of the old colonial jail in front of the courthouse in Leonardtown, and there it sat until March of 2021.
So, the people of that town erected a memorial, pretty much, for her. After they burnt down her house and...
Mm-hmm. On the lawn of, what did I say? The old colonial jail.
So, like...
With her death rock.
Imprisoned for life.
Yeah.
I find that kind of insulting. I just... Maybe they were just like, hey, this is cool and this will draw tourists, but I really feel like it's totally disrespectful.
In a way, I mean, I love the history of it. And it's great for people to be able to see history, but at the same time, it's kind of morbid, right? Like, here's poor old Moll's death rock.
I mean, if they wanted to do something stand-up-ish or, make something historical out of it, there was ways to do it historically.
Wouldn't it have
like
been
put her in
lovely?
the cemetery or do tours and preserve the area where her rock is.
Thank you. Wouldn't it have been lovely if they had made a nice nature trail going to this ravine where this rock was?
I mean, that way people could be remembered of the tragedy that actually occurred and not, oh,
Right.
here's my death rock.
Yeah. And we're going to get more into the death rock in a minute, too. That shouldn't be in yet. No, that was somebody going by, wasn't it?
I hope so, because I ain't expecting anybody.
He never messaged me. It sounded like they went by.
Sorry.
Okay. We're going to get more into this rock, even more than I just did there. But, so the guy tracked it down, and it sat in front of the old colonial jail, in front of the courthouse in Leonardtown until last March. So at that time, the rock was moved again from there to the lawn at Tudor Hall, which is the home to the current St. Mary's County Historical Society. Tudor Hall, I don't know. Maybe this is a historical building too, I'm assuming.
Sounds like it.
I'll put it up here if it is. But anyway, it does, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Tudors. So as I mentioned, the rock is famous. If you Google Moll Dyer's rock and you click the images tab, you're going to see tons of pictures of people posing on this rock. Many with an arm stretched up, some with their foot on it, some literally like crouching on it, some resting on it. The rock itself is said to be cursed, causing people who come in contact with it to become dizzy or to even faint. And I'm telling you what, if that was my death rock and you had your nasty foot on it,
I'd be making your ass pass the fuck out too.
And that's another thing that bothers me about it sitting there is I think it is covered now. I'm not sure. I think I read somewhere that they have it like fenced or something, so you can't just go and climb all over this. But there was so much easy access to it for people to be doing that, because once again, don't you think that's disrespectful? Like, I don't know. There's something morbid about it. I understand the draw. I do. And I'm not knocking anybody who's done this. I'm not. I'm just saying, for me personally, I wouldn't do it because I feel like it would be distasteful.
I get the same feeling with that I get when you go through a graveyard where you step.
Yeah. I'm
Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, don't step on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's more appropriate places to stand than, like, right on the damn grave. I guess unless you're a loved one and you're going to put flowers on it or something like that, but even then you could do it from the side of it.
True.
I don't like a whole lot of that. Let me just step on Jude's face here or something.
I
feel so disrespectful. And
yeah, I think about that a lot. Like, my dad is buried about a half an hour from here, and I go there pretty often. And I stand right on his face. I do. And then I fall on his face, and I just sit there for a while and talk to a headstone. But for somebody else to be trampling through, like, graveyard tourism, for those people to be just trampling through, like, if I saw somebody else standing on my dad's grave like that, I'd probably have a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's any different for me. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
I kind of feel like your family, so it's respectful for you. Because you had a closeness, a connection to that person, and it just, strangers just, I don't know. It just never, we were always brought up,
Right.
You never did that. And I don't know if that's, like, still a thing.
I don't know.
Because the world is ever changing.
It is.
But when we were kids, it was totally disrespectful. Like, you'd get popped in the back of the head for standing.
Step off sides. Stand in the aisle. It's the aisle. It is the aisle, I assure you. And I'm sitting here thinking now, like, do I care if I'm dead? Do I care if somebody's trampling all over my grave? Not really.
Do you know? Like, if you knew, would you care? I wouldn't, in a way.
Yeah, like,
I wouldn't want them doing nothing disrespectful on it.
No.
It might haunt your ass.
Don't do that. Don't hurt my headstone. But you can stand on my grave if you want to. Just be nice. Be polite.
I want to be put in one of those biodegradable pods and grown as a tree.
Same. Hot Rod said the same thing. My husband said the same thing. Hopefully.
That would be so cool. And then don't come chop me down, motherfuckers.
No, let me grow all gnarly and twisted and old. Hopefully in life and in death.
Back into the earth.
So, but yeah, that's the story of Moll Dyer and her rock.
That poor chick, man. And I'm sorry I was throwing y'all off base with the location. I was confusing my witches.
There's too many. There's so many.
Well, I think we should do a bunch of them. And
this is so good. I'm sorry.
It is, you guys. And I don't know. This is a must-have. Like, pumpkin creamed stock. It's so good. Cold brew coffee. And then I put this in there. This Starbucks pumpkin latte creamer. Oh, that's so damn
really good.
It's like dessert in a cup. Alright.
That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.